This is me yesterday waiting for the bus because the bus was late. Now, using the bus is my primary and practically only mode of transportation to go to school or just in general. And I usually have to wait long periods of times. But yesterday I got lucky and I only had to wait 5 minutes. But at times I have to wait 10, 15 to 30 minutes, either due to the bus being late or cancellations. Now, I'm not the only one with this issue. Other people in my city have this issue. Other people in the province has this issue. Other people in the country have this issue. And other people in other countries have this issue. Now, there has to be some sort of law at the international level that governs every single bus schedules around the world. Now, if we take a look at the international level, we can see that there are actually no treaty or law in relation to the schedule of buses, but there are mentions of commercial vehicles. In the Vienna Convention on Road Traffic, is a treaty that sets standards and traffic rules, which Canada has not signed, but it has signed the Geneva Convention on Road Traffic, but that only deals with the license classes. But we do have a Customs Convention on the temporary importation of commercial road vehicles, which Canada has not signed, but even then, that convention only allows commercial road vehicles to temporarily travel within the country duty free, which does not talk about schedules anywhere. Now, let's bring this back to domestic law. Let's look at Canada. Public buses are under the responsibilities of the municipalities, which are underneath the provincial governments from the Constitution Act of 1867. Now, if you look around at all these different acts, there are no clauses in relation to buses having to be on time, and there are no penalties for them being severely late. If we look at the Highway Traffic Act, it only discusses safety inspections, rules on the road, speed requirements, record of keeping of maintenance, but no schedules. Now, there's a regulation under the Highway Traffic Act, which is the accessible vehicles. Now, in this act, there are no mentions of bus schedules, but it only focuses on urban transit buses in relation to what they have to have, such as accessibility to people who have physical disabilities. Now, let's look at another act. We have the Public Vehicles Act, which, yet again, has no mention of buses being late or having to be on time. It only talks about regulations such as regulating and limiting the hours of labor of bus drivers, or it talks about how bus drivers cannot smoke on the bus and the right for passengers to be transported. Now, how can I resolve this issue of buses being late? How can I hold them accountable? Because there seems to be no law to hold them accountable at the legal level. Well, we can hold them publicly accountable. And the first way is for me to go and talk to them simply, as I feel like this would be the best way to focus on the municipal level and tackle the problem directly. But one voice isn't enough. I need a group of people to come and help me, or a group that is devoted to solving the issue. And under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Section 2C allows for the freedom of peaceful assembly, and Section 2D is the freedom of association. But let's look at the international level. You have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and Article 20 of that allows for the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association, which Canada has adopted. But this is a declaration, it's not binding. But it does work as a standard. But that declaration forms a much bigger document, which is the International Human Rights Bill, which contains the Declaration of Human Rights and also two other international covenants. And the important covenant is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which Article 21 allows for the right of peaceful assembly, and Article 22 allows for the right to freedom of association, which Canada has signed and ratified. And with this being said, we do have an association, which is the Ottawa Transit Riders, and their goal is to make Ottawa's public transit system more reliable in terms of buses being more on time and useful to riders and more accessible. And this is aided by another rider group, which is actually in Toronto, which is the TTC Riders. And now you have the residents of Stittsville talking to their city councilor, Glenn Gower, to try and raise awareness to the issue. And he has publicly stated that he will try and fight the issue. Now, Ottawa, in itself, has been trying to help the issue, more so with the downtown core with congestion and traffic, and getting downtown and from downtown easier with the implementation of the light rail. But if I had to relate it to law, what law can I create to hold them legally accountable? Well, possibly a legislation that revolves around the compensation if the amount of buses late exceeds a certain percentage, then the company, so in this case OC Transpo, would have to be liable to pay a compensation to its monthly users. This can be in form of a credit towards the next month or not. But If you have to relate to international law, there can be a international treaty amongst the countries, such like the Declaration or the Vienna Convention, to help set a standard to make buses more on time.